Texas politics has blown up into a dramatic legal fight between Attorney General Ken Paxton and Beto O'Rourke. These two figures represent completely opposite sides of the American political scene. This fight doesn't just affect Texas, it could also change how national politics work, because Texas often shows what's happening with big issues across the United States. Things are getting more intense as both sides accuse each other and try to win in court and in public. This disagreement is all about the Republican Party's push to change congressional districts. Many people see this as a way for them to get more power in the government. This redrawing of election areas has become a hot topic because it could decide who represents Texans in Washington, D.C. for the next 10 years. Democrats are fighting hard against this effort. They think these changes are a threat to fair and equal representation. They're holding protests, having press conferences, and trying to get public support to oppose the Republican plan. In a move that's never happened before, Paxton has taken very strong legal action, even trying to get O'Rourke put in jail. He's accused O'Rourke and his supporters of breaking court orders and is trying to use the legal system to put pressure on his political rivals. These accusations came after a number of Democratic lawmakers left Texas quickly to break a quorum. This was a dramatic move meant to stop a controversial law from passing. Their actions caused a big debate about the limits of power for lawmakers and the governor in Texas. O'Rourke, meanwhile, has accused Paxton of misusing his power to silence those who disagree and to scare anyone who dares to challenge Republican policies. He insists that Paxton's actions are a serious threat to the basic ideas of democracy and open government. Tensions are at an all-time high, with both sides getting ready for a legal and political fight that could change the future of Texas. Every step and decision they make is now being watched closely by the public and national news. This story is about power, standing up for what's right, and a high-stakes fight for democracy in Texas. With everyone watching across the country, the outcome of this political duel will decide the direction of democracy, not just in Texas, but across the entire United States. At the heart of this fight are two political heavyweights, Ken Paxton, the Republican Attorney General who's been in some trouble, and Beto O'Rourke, the face of Texas Democrats. Paxton, a friend of Trump, is known for his strong legal moves and is currently being looked into for a few things himself. O'Rourke, a former congressman and someone who often runs for office, has energized Democrats with his community work and his group, Powered by People. For Paxton, this is about keeping Republicans in charge. For O'Rourke, it's a fight for voting rights and fair representation. Their clash is a small picture of the bigger political battle happening in Texas. The legal flashpoint is a court order from Judge Megan Fahey, which stops O'Rourke's group from funding absent Democrats. Paxton's plan? Cut off the money, force Democrats home, and break up the protests. The order made O'Rourke's support potentially illegal, raising the fight from politics to the courtroom. Republicans say the funding lets lawmakers avoid their duties. O'Rourke's team calls it protected political speech. The order's reach is now at the center of a tough legal fight. Next up, Paxton wants the court to find O'Rourke in contempt. Paxton's office quickly filed a motion to hold O'Rourke in contempt, seeking fines and even jail time for allegedly violating the order. Evidence included O'Rourke's fundraising appeals and fiery rally quotes. "There are no referees in this game, screw the rules." Paxton framed this as open defiance of the law, demanding harsh penalties to send a message. This move is rare and aggressive, designed to intimidate Democrats and energize Republicans. Judge Fahey now faces a politically charged decision with huge consequences. O'Rourke fired back, saying Paxton was twisting his words and using the court to silence people who disagreed with him. His lawyer said the order didn't stop political fundraising, and that Paxton was wrong about the law and what O'Rourke meant. They said the strong words at the rally were just about being upset with a system that seemed unfair, not a call to break the law. O'Rourke's team is now trying to get Paxton's office in trouble for not being truthful with the court. The legal fight is getting bigger, with both sides saying the other is using their power wrongly. This legal drama started with a brave and risky move. A group of Texas Democratic House members dramatically left their state and flew to Illinois. They weren't just traveling, they were running away from Texas as a protest, leaving their families and jobs for one goal: to stop the Republican Party's efforts to pass a controversial bill about redrawing voting districts. With this action, they tried to block a bill that they believed would make the Republican Party stronger in Texas and greatly affect national politics. By breaking the quorum, the Democratic lawmakers effectively stopped the entire lawmaking process. Without them there, the session couldn't continue, and passing laws came to a halt. They called this move a last resort to stop what they saw as extreme partisan gerrymandering, a practice they believed hurt democracy and ignored the people's voices. The new proposed election map could give the Republican Party up to 5 more congressional seats, making their power stronger at the national level and affecting federal policies for years to come. Democrats said that the map systematically weakened the voting power of minority communities, who have always been an important part of Texas democracy. They warned that if this map passed, election results would be rigged for a decade, and public trust in the election system would be even more damaged. Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott responded strongly. He threatened to arrest the lawmakers who left and ordered a special legislative session with no end date to force them back to Texas. Political pressure grew, with legislative sessions lasting late into the night and intense arguments among the council members. This deadlock became a high-stakes gamble for the Democratic Party, who now face pressure from all sides, both inside and outside the party. They were running out of time, running out of options, and had to think of new ways to protect the democratic principles they were fighting for. This walkout was their last defense against one-party rule, and also a strong message that democracy must be protected, even if it means facing big risks and an uncertain future. Powered by people, O'Rourke's group became the money and logistics line for the absent Democrats. They covered travel, lodging, and daily fines, making the walkout possible and something they could keep doing. This support took away the power of the Republican punishments and drew Paxton's legal attacks. O'Rourke's national fundraising network turned the protest into a movement, but it also made it a big target. The group's role was super important for the Democrats' fight back and the legal battle. Behind the legal fireworks lies the real prize, control over Texas's congressional map for the next decade. Texas's population growth gave it 2 new House seats, but the GOP map went further, maximizing Republican gains through aggressive gerrymandering. Critics say the map packs and cracks minority voters, weakening their influence and locking in GOP power. With Congress often decided by a handful of seats, the Texas map could tip the national balance. Democrats see this as a final stand to prevent entrenched one-party rule. The outcome will shape not just Texas, but the direction of American politics. The stakes couldn't be higher. As the legal fight rages on, the future is up in the air for everyone involved. Every step in the courtroom and every choice made has big consequences, not just for people like Paxton and O'Rourke, but also for the whole political direction of Texas. This uncertainty creates a tension that you can feel across the state, causing strong arguments between supporters and those who disagree. O'Rourke faces fines, possible jail time, and a big political moment. Win or lose, he is now the face of the Democratic resistance. Every speech he gives, every move he makes is watched closely by the media and the public. For many, O'Rourke has become a symbol of hope and change, even though his path is full of risks. The pressure to prove himself is growing, and his future is now tied closely to the fate of his party. Paxton is at risk of overplaying his hand. A loss could add to his growing scandals, while a win would cement his tough guy reputation. He's under a bright spotlight, with every move watched by political opponents and the media. If he fails, the pressure to step down will grow, but if he succeeds, he will strengthen his position as a key conservative figure in Texas. The Democratic walkout can't last forever. Abbott is determined to wait them out. The tension in the legislature is building, with both sides holding their breath, waiting for the next move. This strategy tests the patience and strength of everyone involved and shows how deep the political divide is in Texas. The likely outcome: Republicans finally pass their maps, but not without showing deep partisan wounds. This process showed how tough the power struggle is behind the scenes, and how legislative decisions can shape the political future of Texas for years to come. This fight has set the tone for the next election cycle and shown the raw and relentless nature of Texas politics. Every event, every decision becomes a lesson for politicians and voters about the importance of strategy, courage, and toughness when facing challenges. The Paxton-O'Rourke duel is just the start of a new era of political warfare in the Lone Star State. With tensions still rising and the stakes getting higher, Texas is now the main stage for an ideological battle that will shape America's future.